Have you noticed small, unsettling changes in someone you love over the past year? Maybe they've shed pounds without meaning to, or they're inexplicably drained day after day. Perhaps they're forgetting little things, or pulling away from the world they once embraced. Most of us assume old age ends with a sudden flicker, but the reality, the body whispers its goodbyes long before, sometimes a full year ahead of that final moment. The trouble is, these signals are so quiet, so easy to shrug off as just aging, that we miss them entirely. It's only later, when we look back, that the puzzle pieces snap into place and we see the signs were there all along. By then, though, it's too late. Too late to prepare, too late to make those last days truly matter. In this video, we're re-diving into 5 subtle but critical signs that often show up about a year before an elderly loved one passes. Some you might have noticed but brushed aside. Others seem minor until you realize they're the body's way of winding down. Spotting these early isn't just about understanding what is coming. It is about seizing the chance to care better, to build lasting memories, and to give your loved one a final chapter wrapped in comfort, dignity, and peace. Stick with us to the end, because knowing these signs can transform how you face what's ahead. When you're prepared, you're not blindsided. You're empowered to cherish every second you have left with the people who mean the most. Before we jump in, let me know, where are you watching from today? Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear. Got questions? Ask away. And if you want more health tips to thrive in your prime, hit subscribe and tap that bell. You won't miss a thing. Let's get started. Number 1. Significant weight loss. Let's start with one of the earliest and most telling signs, unintentional weight loss. At first, it might seem minor. Maybe you notice their clothes are looser, or their belt needs tightening. Perhaps they're eating less, or their once hearty appetite has faded. Many families brush this off as part of aging, but losing weight without trying is rarely a good sign. It often means the body isn't absorbing nutrients well, muscle mass is decreasing, and essential systems are slowing down. Aging does lead to some muscle loss, but when it happens too quickly, it's a sign of something deeper. The body might struggle to digest food or process protein, leading to muscle wasting. This loss of strength makes movement harder, increases the risk of falls, weakens the immune system, and leaves the person more vulnerable to infections. Here, as a practical example, imagine your dad, who used to love his Sunday roast dinners, now picks at his food or skips meals altogether. He might say he's just not hungry, but over time, you notice he's losing weight. His clothes hang loosely and his face looks thinner. What can you do? First, don't panic. Instead, focus on small, nutrient-dense meals. Offer foods that are easy to eat and digest, like soups, smoothies, or soft fruits. If they're struggling with appetite, try serving smaller portions more frequently throughout the day. And remember, forcing large meals may not help. At this stage, it's about comfort and quality of life, not quantity. If you notice significant weight loss in elderly loved one, especially if they're eating less, feeling weaker, or struggling to stay active, pay attention. This isn't just about appearance, it's the body sending a message. Understanding that message now can help you prepare for what's ahead, with clarity, compassion, and the ability to make every moment meaningful. Number 2, extreme fatigue and weakness. Next, let's talk about one of the most noticeable changes in the year before the end of life. Deep, persistent fatigue. This isn't just feeling tired after a long day, it's an exhaustion that makes even simple tasks feel overwhelming. Getting out of bed becomes a challenge. Walking across the room takes effort, and routine activities like cooking, dressing, or even talking start to feel draining. This isn't just aging, it's a sign the body is conserving its remaining energy. As organ function slows, the body prioritizes what's essential. The heart doesn't pump as efficiently, circulation weakens, and muscles don't get the same oxygen they once did. This is why many elderly people in their final months feel weak, unsteady, and unable to stay as active as before. Here's a real-life scenario. Picture your grandma, who used to love gardening, now struggling to get out of her chair. She might say she's just tired, but you notice she's sleeping more, needing longer naps, or finding it harder to stay awake for long periods. What can you do? First, don't push her to do more than she can handle. Instead, focus on making her environment as comfortable as possible. Arrange furniture so she can move around easily, and consider assistive devices like a walker or cane if needed. Encourage rest when she needs it, but also create opportunities for gentle activity, like short walks or light stretching, to maintain some strength and mobility. Most importantly, be patient. This is a time to cherish conversations, create moments of peace, and support her without expectations. What matters most isn't how much she can do. It's that she feels loved, understood, and at ease. Number 3, increased cognitive confusion or withdrawal. As someone nears the end of life, one of the most striking changes can be in how they think, communicate, and interact. You might notice that someone who was once sharp starts forgetting things, struggling to follow conversations, or seeming disoriented in familiar places. They may repeat themselves, forget names, or lose track of time, even if they never had memory issues before. These cognitive changes can start months, or even a year, before death. This isn't just normal forgetfulness. The brain, like other organs, needs oxygen and nutrients to function. But as circulation weakens and oxygen supply decreases, cognitive function declines. The person may become confused, struggle with decisions, or have trouble recognizing people and places. In some cases, they may have moments of clarity followed by sudden confusion, almost as if their mind is fading in and out. Here's an example. Imagine your mom, who used to remember every detail of family gatherings, now forgetting your name or getting lost in her own home. She might repeat the same story multiple times or seem disoriented in familiar places. What can you do? First, don't correct her or argue. Instead, meet her where she is. Speak gently, offer reassurance, and understand that even if she doesn't respond, she can still feel your presence. Create a calm, familiar environment by keeping routines consistent and minimizing noise and distractions. If she's withdrawing from social interactions, don't take it personally. It's not that she doesn't care, it is that her brain no longer processes emotions and engagement the same way. This is a time to be patient, cherish quiet moments, and create a safe, familiar, and peaceful environment. Even when words fade, love and comfort can still be felt. Number 4, frequent infections and slow healing. As the body begins to wind down, one of the clearest physical signs is a weakened immune system. You might notice that someone who rarely got sick before now catches every cold, flu, or minor infection. What used to be small illnesses now take much longer to recover from, and simple wounds like cuts or bruises heal more slowly. These changes aren't random. They're signs the body can no longer defend and repair itself as it once did. One major concern is repeated infections. Pneumonia, UTIs, skin infections, and even oral infections become more common as the immune system weakens. Many families think these are just isolated illnesses, but when they happen frequently or take a long time to clear, it's often a sign the body is losing its ability to fight back. Here's a practical example. Imagine your uncle, who used to bounce back quickly from a cold, now taking weeks to recover. He might develop a persistent cough or a skin infection that won't heal. What can you do? First, stay vigilant. Keep an eye out for signs of infection, like fever, confusion, or changes in behavior. If you notice something, don't wait. Seek medical advice promptly. At the same time, focus on prevention. Keep their living space clean, encourage good hygiene, and make sure they're staying hydrated and eating well. If they're bedridden, Take extra care to prevent pressure sores by regularly repositioning them and keeping their skin clean and moisturized. Remember, at a certain point, the focus often shifts from curing to comforting. Keeping them hydrated, their skin clean, and minimizing stress on the body can do more for their well-being than another round of medication that only prolongs suffering. Number 5, major changes in breathing or circulation. One of the clearest signs the body is preparing for its final stage is a noticeable change in breathing patterns and circulation. You might notice your loved one breathing more slowly or shallowly than before. At times, they might pause between breaths, or their breathing might become irregular, speeding up and then slowing down unexpectedly. Some experience Cheney-Stokes respiration, where breathing alternates between deep, rapid breaths and long pauses. These changes can start subtly, but become more pronounced over time. Another common sign is weakened circulation. You might notice their hands, feet, nose, or ears feel cold to the touch. The skin may appear pale, bluish, or mottled, especially around the fingers and toes. This happens because the body prioritizes blood flow to vital organs, reducing circulation to the extremities. It's a clear sign the heart isn't pumping as strongly as before. Here's a real-life scenario. Imagine your aunt, who used to enjoy long walks, now struggling to catch her breath after just a few steps. She might need to stop and rest frequently, or prefer to sleep propped up on pillows to ease her breathing. What can you do? First, don't panic. Instead, focus on making her as comfortable as possible. Keep the room cool and well ventilated, and consider using a humidifier to ease any dryness in the air. Offer small sips of water to keep her hydrated, and if she's on oxygen, make sure it's being used as prescribed. Most importantly, be present. Sit with her, hold her hand, and let her know she's not alone. In these final months or weeks, the most important thing you can give her isn't medical intervention. It's comfort, dignity, and the knowledge she is loved. As we wrap up, take a moment to reflect on what we've discussed. Significant weight loss, extreme fatigue, cognitive decline, frequent infections, and major changes in breathing and circulation. These 5 signs often appear in the year before an elderly person's passing. They may not all happen at once, and they may not always be obvious at first, but when you notice them, it's a sign the body is preparing for its final transition. For many families, these changes can be hard to accept. It's natural to want to fight against them, to encourage a loved one to eat more, move more, or push through exhaustion. But sometimes, the best thing we can do is listen to what their body is telling us. Instead of trying to reverse the inevitable, we can focus on making their remaining time as peaceful, comfortable, and meaningful as possible. Understanding these signs isn't about fearing death, it's about being prepared for it. When you recognize these changes early, you can offer better care, make important decisions ahead of time, and ensure your loved one's final months are filled with love and dignity. This is a time for cherishing moments, sharing stories, and letting them know they are valued and not alone. If you're noticing these signs in someone close to you, take a deep breath and remember, you are not alone in this journey. Many families have walked this path before, and while it's never easy, knowing what to expect can help you find strength, patience, and peace. If you found this video helpful, a quick thumb up helps us continue bringing you valuable insights like this. I would love to hear from you. What signs have you noticed in a loved one that made you pause and reflect? Or do you have any tips for supporting someone in their later years? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you haven't yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest advice for understanding and caring for seniors. Stay aware, stay compassionate. I'll see you in the next video.